no, if Glenn brings it up to the camera at the end,
yeah.
we won't make any attempt to angle it. So, we know where this piece comes from, Glenn. This is from the site of Amarna.
Looks like it, doesn't it?
It does, yes.
What gives that away for you?
So, aside from the fact we know the origin of it as this important...
Oh, I see. So it's not just based on style. You actually know where this comes
yes.
from. I beg your pardon.
Yes,
right, okay.
yes.
So you got the context firmly.
This was found by Petrie in his excavations at Amarna in Middle Egypt.
Gotcha.
Capital city of King Akhenaten of the 18th dynasty, about 1300 BC. Very interesting chap. Forgoes all the other gods and sets up one city in honour of one sun god. Style of art changes in the Amarna period, and you get quite a distinctive look to people and quite distinctive poses. And this fulfills both of these.
It screams Amarna,
yeah,
doesn't it?
if you didn't know where it was,
exactly,
you would know.
That's right.
What seems to be going on in here, in this scene, again, because we don't have the adjoining parts, is your guess is as good as mine.
Well, it is. I mean, but it seems to be military in some respect. We've got a guy coming in the corner here. You can see most of his head. Typical kind of style. You can see the sort of elongated aspects to the face, the very almond sort of shaped eyes.
Yeah.
Typical kind of Amarna period stuff.
Yeah.
And he's got what looks like a blade in front of his face, probably the blade to a spear that he's holding.
I imagine,
a bit more of it. Then there's something else going on here, but I'm not sure what that is. We've got a kind of what may be the back of someone else's head, although scale-wise it's a lot bigger, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then if that was the case, this would be something maybe they're holding the back of a spear, but then it would be pointing down and not like that. So I'm not sure. What do you reckon?
What I think of is when you think of other better preserved scenes in tombs at Amarna or little bits from temples, is when Akhenaten and his wife Nefertiti go out in their chariot. They're not going off to war, they're just going to the temple and going to be seen.
A procession.
A procession, exactly, because there are no gods that can have statues. The only god is the sun disk in the sky.
So you process literally through the city.
And
everyone comes out and it's a festival.
It's a festival, but interestingly, if you look very closely, the route seems to be lined by soldiers, and they seem to be bending down slightly, and they've got their spears with them. So I guess this is our evidence that this chap's a soldier. So he's got a kind of hunched back, like he's really bending over.
I can picture the scenes.
Yeah,
I can picture the scenes now you say that. I mean, so are we talking temple?
I guess, yeah. Maybe this is one of these blocks, these talatat blocks, the small blocks that Akhenaten used to build temples quite quickly.
Yeah, so they've got a distinctive size, haven't they?
Yeah.
They're sort of smaller. Right.
3-hand span block, but it's still quite heavy. You know, if you had to...
It is. It's a significant piece, which again kind of makes me think, something like a temple, certainly, in stone. Yeah. Would have been part of a larger scene then, presumably.
Sure, yeah, this doesn't stand alone, it's part of a huge...
Yeah, I mean a much larger scene, sort of documenting this.
If this is a soldier,
yeah,
who's maybe not terribly important in the grand scheme of things at Amarna, he's going to be shown in quite a small scale.
In relation to more important
people.
So
you can extrapolate from that he, who's still quite a substantial figure, would, in relative terms, be quite small. The figure of the king or the queen would be huge. So, yeah, this is part of a big temple scene.
Fantastic.
Ooh.
So you can see how big this block of stone is. It is really heavy. So there, right in front of you, is our Egyptian in typical kind of Amarna style. And you can see the blade right in front of his face there. And just as Campbell was telling us, you can see how he's bent over. I mean, this block's the right way up, so he's almost horizontal. And that's quite typical. And just over here, that's the other kind of slightly more mysterious stuff. We're not entirely sure without the rest of the block or the scene what's there.
Great.